Today I'm here with Alan Robinson, who has an amazing resume. You all know him, of course, as a variety of stunt people. Tom Hanks, he doubled for in a variety of films. Anthony Perkins in Psycho 4, Jim Carrey in Batman Forever, and of course, what most of you all know him as is Ghostface in Scream 2. How you doing today, Alan?
Hey, I'm doing good, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, man. I'm really grateful that you're able to make time to do this for me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, sure, man. You betcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you when we met at the convention
Chiller.
in at Chiller Theater. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that. Oh man, I can't. You and Lynn and just and Matthew. Is that how you say his name? Is it Matthew?
Matthew. Yeah, and I think you have to have a French accent to say it correctly, but yeah, Matthew to us Americans.
Yeah, very nice group of people.
Yeah.
We were so lucky that they were able to find you and put you on the con circuit because for a while we were lucky we had Skeet and Matthew and Lee, and now we got you, and like we're very lucky to have you out there.
Well, I'm having fun with it. I am stoked. I love meeting people and signing things and telling stories and did I mention and meeting people?
Yes, I would imagine. And you know what was really cool about meeting you was you actually brought your ghost face mask that you still have from Scream 2.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I don't bring it as much, but yeah, I have the original Ghostface mask they used in the opening scene of Scream 2, in the movie theater and in the bathroom, killing Omar in the bathroom stall. But somehow I took that mask home. I'm not a particular collector, but I just threw it in my stunt bag and it ended up in a box in an attic for 20 plus years.
Oh well,
And so I lucked out, and I now I have it. I like to say I'm just the caretaker of it because it's you know it's the fans, it's the movie's mask. I'm just the one that's taking care of it, and I when I can, I like to take it to shows and people can see it in person.
yeah. And do you ever wear it for? I see that you do some in costume photo ops at some shows. Have you ever?
Yeah, but I don't use the original one. When I do photo ops, I use original Gen 2 mask. I use the appropriate mask, but not the one because I don't want to wear it out. I don't want to tear the fabric. I don't want to. It's just too valuable in
Yeah.
its condition. And for photo ops, you would never, you really don't notice the difference. And it's not worth putting it on and off. I handle it very carefully because I want it to last for a long time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I wish that that Paramount had known about the fact that you had your mask because one of the flaws of Scream Six was a fantastic movie, but the only thing that I was kind of bummed about it was they didn't pay attention to detail of how the past masks looked.
Ah,
In Scream One they had the KMB mask first because they didn't have the rights yet, and
yeah,
then of course they were able to get the rights and they got that really the classic looking one that's a little wrinkly, and then of course we had yours because fans really pay attention to detail of how the masks look because they're always fascinated with the way Ghostface looks and how he's developed over the years.
yeah, yeah. I think it's neat how the franchise is made a different mask for different movies, different films because it would be kind of boring if it was the same one, but just little subtle differences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and yeah, of course, me being the massive Scream fan that I am, I just want to gush about Scream nonstop. But I feel like we should start from the beginning for you. So how did you first get started in stunt work?
Well, stunt work I started by doing live shows for theme parks.
Hmm.
So I was working at a theme park my first year in 1985, and then I moved down to Orlando, Florida, and I started working for Disney for 6 years, doing all their live stunt shows, driving boats. I played a gunfighter in a gunfighting show for years, and then I played Indiana Jones and their big stunt show at at Disney World, and slowly getting film and television credits. Because once I got that first TV job, about 2 years into doing live stunts, I was like, wait, I want to do that. They're paying me for one day of work. They're paying me what I make all week doing a live show. I wanted to go do that. That was my mindset. I'm like, so I pursued it, and by 1993, I gave up doing all live shows because I just got so busy, with film and TV, and that's kind of how I got started. But I got hired because I had an athletic background. I was a pole vaulter, a springboard diver, swimmer, played football, um, and that background helped me, just as a general toolkit, for as a stuntman, and then constantly learning new skills as I grew as a stunt performer.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Because you have, I looked at some of the pictures of all your photos and films you worked on, and all the actors that you've doubled for, and it is just so amazing how they're able to make you look exactly like that actor. Like, I guess the first big horror film for you would have been what, Psycho 4?
That's right. Yeah, Psycho 4. I got hired to double Anthony Perkins, and he's the actor who played Norman Bates in the original Psycho in 19, I think it was 60. I mean, that was a long time ago, and I that job I got in 1990. Um, but I doubled him, and it was just iconic because he's Norman Bates,
Hmm.
and he was so much older than me, but what I had to do because looking like the actor is important, but it depends on what it is. So if you're going to be dead onto the camera, you better look like them really good. But if you're a flash, or if you're driving a car, or you're on fire, or certain things, you don't have to look quite as identical. But I, kind of matched the got the job, and it was really cool because it was my first um, doubling job for like, let's say, a major actor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, man. How lucky is that to have that on your resume? The fact that you actually worked with the classic, original horror icon slasher. You know, I
that's
guess
right.
I guess he would have been the first slasher horror icon, right?
Kind of technically, I mean, I think I'm not. I don't know. I don't go that far back, but I know for me, my favorite horror films when I was growing up, because I'm old, was Alfred Hitchcock's movies, and and it wasn't until recent times where this new genre of horror films, from Nightmare on Elm Street, and and it took it's taken a different course in the last 25 years. But the old school, I nailed it.
Yeah,
So
you did. Yeah.
yeah.
So unfortunately, earlier, unfortunately I can't really remember exactly. Was it earlier this year or earlier late last year? We unfortunately lost Olivia Hussey, who you got to
Yeah.
work with on Psycho 4. How was your experience working with her?
She was very nice and kind, and sweet. I just remember her just being really easy to work with. Um, Yeah, I didn't have a lot to do, interact with her, because I also in Psycho 4 I doubled Henry Thomas, who played the young Norman Bates. It's because
Hmm.
it's a prequel. So Henry Thomas was 18 at the time. Henry Thomas, those who don't know, played Elliot in the movie E.T. He was
Hmm.
E.T. and and so I doubled him. He was 18, and Anthony Perkins was like 65 or something. And so I was able to nail both those into it. So Olivia was, yeah, I was sad to see her pass, and I just remember her being really kind and sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's very sad. Today, I just found out we just lost a member of the Friday the 13th franchise, Laura Park Lincoln from Part 7.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
unfortunately, I, I had the pleasure of meeting her at a convention. She was such a sweet lady. That was really sad to hear. And
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I did you ever work on any of the Friday the 13th films? Did you ever get on?
No, no.
No.
Um, I did not. No. Yeah, jobs come in Hollywood. You don't really get to pick and choose.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Yeah.
and yeah, those were, somebody else got to do that fun work.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to remember. Did was Forrest Gump and Batman Forever the same year?
No, so we filmed Forrest Gump in 1993,
Mhm.
and then I think it came out at the theaters at the beginning of 1994, and we started shooting Batman Forever. I want to say like 95. It could have been the end of 94, but around 95. Yeah. So there's a good year to almost 2 years in between the two there.
Yeah.
Um, but the interesting thing about Forrest Gump is that when I got the job, it was you're just happy to be working. And they said, oh, okay, well, you can be doing some running and some swimming and and I did that stuff, but they gave me a script, and I was just a young stunt guy, a young filmmaker, and I was like, I read the script, and it seemed silly. I'm like, this is stupid. It didn't play. I could not see how this would be a good movie, but I was just happy to be working, making a paycheck, and Tom Hanks wasn't quite the megastar he is today. He just he was still coming up the ranks, and and so it was it wasn't like this is going to be a big film or not, and I didn't think it was. But when it came out, I was like, wow, I was really honored and privileged to be part of that. So that still gets a lot of play even today.
Yeah. So what stunts did you perform in Forrest Gump?
Well, after jumping off the shrimp boat, that's me swimming to the pier where Tom Hanks climbs up the ladder and delivers dialogue to Lieutenant Dan when he's in his wheelchair.
Oh, that was
Um,
you.
so that's me swimming, and it's not that it was such a big stunt; it was more a convenient stunt or convenience because if he would have swam and then climbed up the ladder, he would have been really out of breath to be able to give the dialogue
Mhm.
to Gary Sinise. So they had me do the swimming, and then Tom was below. He was on the ladder, and I basically tag team him as I swim behind the pier, and he climbs up the ladder. And that was one of my first days on the set, and they just gave me that fresh haircut. And I remember getting sunburned because I didn't put enough sunscreen on my scalp because I didn't have short hair, and now I had short hair and the sun's blazing because we're filming on the water. But other stuff on Forrest Gump, um, running. I was running from the pickup truck when it was right on my heels. Yeah, Forrest talking to Jenny, and gets hit in the back of the head with a rock, and then it's this pickup truck that starts chasing him. So it's me running from the pickup truck, and especially the side views you can see is literally right on my heels. Um, and so that was really dangerous. The stunt coordinator said, "Just run as fast as you can, and I'll be right behind you." And the stunt coordinator had done all these old school. I mean, he was so good, Bud Davis, and he I mean, because if you would have just sped up a little too much, it would have tripped me up, and I would have been under the truck, and I wouldn't be here. So um, that and also what I did in Vietnam, I carry soldiers. So I pick up Lieutenant Dan when he's calling in an airstrike, and he's on the ground. I pick up Lieutenant Dan, put him on over my shoulders, and I'm running with him when he gets shot in the buttocks. So that's me. Um, that's me. So those are some of the things I did on Gump. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. How about when that scene you just talked about when you're running from the truck? Did you hop? Did you jump over the fence, or was that Tom?
No, I did not. That's an interesting story about that because I was scheduled to do that. And to do that, we use a thing called an air ram. that you don't see on the ground. The air ram is a pneumatic propulsion device that basically, when you step on it, it throws you forward, so it gives you that extra boost to be able to go higher and go over this fence.
Right.
So I rehearsed for that and rehearsed, and then I tore my quadricep muscle in
Ooh.
rehearsal for the air ram. So so that was shot several weeks later after that, running from the pickup truck, and my quad was not capable of doing that, so that was somebody else who did that.
Uh, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. How was Tom Hanks to work with?
delight. He was a delight, and he's always been a delight. He's funny. He's generous. He's um, funny. Did I mention funny? But he's generous and he's very smart. And he's he's um, because I have to add up the number of days and months I've worked with him because of the 7 films I work with him. Some of them I'm working with him for 3 to 4 months at a time. I want to add it up and go, I've spent a year and a half with Tom Hanks. Whatever the months add up. Yeah, I got to do that sometime. But I've got a lot of time working with him. You know, he's he's been good for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear nothing but great things about him when people talk about him. Um, Hi, Amy. My friend Amy's on here now. If
Hi.
anybody if anybody has any questions for Alan, please feel free to send them as we're talking. Um,
Yeah. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on. I got nothing but answers.
yes, yes. Really excited to hear them too. How about Gary Sinise? How was he to work with?
He was great. I literally had to pick him up with all that military uniform and gear and stuff on him and run through the woods over stumps and logs and stuff. And he was really cool. I saw him maybe about 5 years ago. I ran into him in a hotel in Chicago, and we got to chit chat a little bit and share the stories, of that scene that I, was carrying him through the woods. So that was kind of cool.
Uh,
Hey, I see a good question.
yes.
So, what's my favorite scary movie? Well, that's like asking somebody your favorite, hmm. because there's favorites for different reasons. But scary would scare me. You'd probably not the answer you want to hear, but it's old school because
Hmm.
when I was young, I think when you're a little bit younger, you get scared more. Younger can be teens, 20s, maybe 30s. Um, but mine was Alfred Hitchcock's movie called The Birds, and
Mm.
it the way he told stories and just the way the scenes and just created this scariness to it. It always stuck out to me, and every time I see it, it always just evokes scaredness. But
Oh,
that's only cause, it's only because I'm old. But if I was younger and grew up with more modern, if that's the right way to put it, like Jason or Nightmare and all the new franchises of films, or scary movie horror films, it may be something else. But I think because I've spent almost 40 years making movies,
hmm.
that movies in general don't have the same effect to me because I'm a little jaded because I look at every aspect of it, and it's hard for me to be taken away and enjoy the film because I'm looking at the lighting and the dialogue and the character development and the background and I look at it so critically because I've had to do that for 40 years in the business. So it's kind of difficult for me to look at a film and go, I love that. A lot of people say, "What's your favorite type of film?" It's usually something that doesn't have action in it. It's usually a comedy,
Hmm.
something to that nature. Because action films, I'm not taken away by. Although I love the Fall Guy, the film that came out. Um, but seldom do I like action because I'm always like, oh, that was really good. Who did that? Or oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that bigger. Or that. and I'd pick it apart. And then when you do that, you just kind of get lost, and you don't let you get lost in the movie. But hey, Amy, I'm glad you liked that answer about the birds. If you haven't seen the movie,
Yeah,
it's a classic. I think it's in black and white, so it's a good vintage film.
yeah. Dang it, Amy, you stole the best question to ask the Ghostface killer. Uh, uh, but since we're on the topic of comedies, um, how about I wanted to ask you about, have you seen the Scary Movie by the Wayans brothers? Their movie, Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I thought that was hilarious. I love any um, mockery or the satire. It's funny because Scream itself was kind of a play on horror movies. Um, and this is a play on the horror film. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Slow down, camera. Slow down. There we go. Yeah. So um, I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about the Scary Movie, the Wayans brothers.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I like that. No, I like any parody that it pokes fun at things because I like
Your movie.
comedy and I like slapstick. Um, I like all kinds of comedy, but I found it very very cool.
Yeah, how did you like the movie theater scene when they reenacted your kill scene in Scream 2 in their own way?
Well, it was kind of interesting. I'm like, well, that looks familiar. That's a take on it. And, I got to watch it again. 'Cause, that movie's been out a long time, and I haven't seen it in a long time. So I'm overdue to see it again to refresh how that was done.
Yeah, I like when they killed oh my god, I can never remember the actor who played it was one of the Wayans brothers. I forget it was it Marlon who played Ray. When he does the bathroom scene, he sticks his wall. There's a it looks like they got a little bit pornish with that scene, but no, it was hilarious, and the way that in the movie theater turns out Ghostface doesn't kill the girl; it's everybody else in the audience. I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh, see, I've forgotten that. Now you're asking me questions. I'm not really versed on scary movie. It's been a while, so
Oh yeah, no, I understand if you
yeah.
don't. Yeah, I understand if it's been a while,
Yeah,
but
I will stab you, Joe. So I just want to let you know.
oh, getting stabbed by that thing would be an honor, man. Because like that is just I wanted one of those ever since I was a kid. I I will never understand why they don't put something like that on the market when they release like Fun World props or anything like that. I mean, it took them so long to get the actual Ghostface knife released as a
Yeah,
toy
well,
knife.
the buck knife. I've got one of those that up on my display. Yeah, um, but this is really kind. Somebody made this for me, 3D printing, but it's identical to the one used in the Scream 2 opening scene Stab.
Yeah,
So the movie Stab's playing, but the people behind me that are in Ghostface mask were all using this. And I suspect that Wes Craven, the director, probably picked this because in a dark theater you can see the knife,
yeah, probably.
and so you could create a lot more action in the background compared to if it was silver or whatnot. But um, anyway,
Yeah, I think it's amazing how movies are much better merchant. How in the movies they're much better merchandisers than there are in real life. I always want the movie. I always want the movie props more than I want the toys that are released in the Halloween stores or the Toys R Us or whatever you get them at. But
uh,
uh,
well,
Amy Amy asked a question: where were the
where the go
Ghostface masks made differently than they are now?
well, I'm not the guy to be able to accurately answer that, Amy. I just know at the beginning, which was so long ago, it was Fun World and then K and B. There was I don't know who makes them now, and I know they look different. That's all I know. So I don't know if they're made differently. I just know my experience with my mask. When I did close-ups with the mask, because the eyes have mesh in them,
Mm-hmm.
but you can see through that, and you can see your eyes. You can see it, as a Caucasian. I mean, I've got light colored skin that, so they would do makeup and black out my eyes. And so when there were close-ups at the front, you couldn't see my eyes. And but the vision is not very good. And when we were doing Scream 2, when I was killing Jada, it was actually particularly kind of challenging. If you want to hear that story, it's um, so I had to um, sit next to her because I just killed Omar in the bathroom, and I come down, I slouch down, and I'm sitting next to Jada, and then she noticed some blood, and then left with my left hand, I have to take this knife and just quickly look to my left and stab her.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first stab. The director Wes Craven told me I'm going to be stabbing her many times, and then he even told me, he goes, every time you stab her, I want a different look. I remember going, how do I make a mask that doesn't show expression? How do I make it look different each time? So getting back to that first stab, it was so challenging because uh, I had to be left-handed. I'm right-handed, so my left hand is just a little not as precise. The mask mesh comes out a little bit, so there's no peripheral. It was low light, kind of flickering with the screen, and I had a very small target. She had this little maroon crop top, and back then we used retractable knives, so the knives would actually retract. So when I stabbed, it would look like it was going in.
Yeah.
Now digitally, now you can just have a portion of a knife, and I can stab, and they'll add that other portion beforehand, and it's done differently. But we used the retractable one, and you have to hit kind of hard. Not, I mean, to retract and then hold it there, so you can't be real gentle with it. So I had a small target be just below her breast and just where her crop top stopped. They put a little pad underneath her top, and I had to hit this little target about like that, and a very quick motion of just wham, and I didn't want to miss because I didn't want her to go crazy on me, and fortunately I nailed it.
Yeah.
And then she gets up and goes down, and I stab her, and I came up with what would a killer do, and to bring this face to a different expression, and I just said it's got to come from within. So I remember like that first stab, and then I think maybe the second one were very deliberate, but by the third, I actually was going, okay, I've already mortally wounded her. Now I'm stabbing for sport, and I started laughing in my mask, and you can see that. You can see me just lean back
Yeah.
as I stab her, and I'm leaning back because I'm laughing in the mask, and that was just great direction by the director to make it look different, and yeah, I think people seem to like it. So
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. I was actually going to ask you about that moment, like when you stab her and then you put your head back, like what's going on underneath that mask? Like, what's the killer thinking at that moment? Like, what's he like? Where did he just like? He was obviously stabbing her multiple times aggressively, and I can also tell by the way you're moving, like you're not letting her go anywhere. Like, and you're just she tries to run away from you. You immediately grab her, stab her
I just
again.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I had to really get into a killer mindset of what would you really do, and it's like if I really want to do this to somebody, I'm going to be very intentional. But once I realize, okay, now my prey is mortally wounded, they're not going to survive this. then each of these other stabs are just for fun, and that's where I was laughing. So that's a little behind the scenes, kind of morbid the way you have to think there, but made for a good movie.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Scream 2 actually is that's my favorite opening scene without the whole franchise. So like your performance as Ghostface was something very memorable, and I really enjoyed what you did. I really loved
Ah,
your energy playing that character.
I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And how difficult was it shooting the scene where you were in the bathroom and you have to kill what's his name, Omar?
Yeah, Omar Epps. And it was. What's interesting is when we first filmed it, when we were filming it, they shot me with a knife, um, uh, pressed up against the bathroom stall, and they said we're going to be making a scratching noise, and that's what he's going to be listening to on the other side.
Hmm.
But that's not what they used in the film. They gave it some like really low key like voices. It sounded like voices. That's why he was like, you know. So um, so that was one of the first things I did was I took the knife and I did that, and then once again it was a retractable knife, and I just had to slam that in the bathroom wall. Obviously, Omar's not there, and so his scene was shot separately, by taking the knife in the ear, um, and so that was that was that was a great way to open a movie, stab somebody in the ear. But
Yeah.
then I got to come out, and one of my favorite still photos is coming out of the bathroom, and I kind of look left, go, oh, nice,
Yep.
nice.
Right there when you're posing like this. I reenacted that in a little video of mine on YouTube actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got the actual,
Whoa.
not the actual one in the movie, but this is the buck knife that was used. Not the
Yeah.
one in the movie, but this is was a 120, buck 120. Yep, says buck 120 on it, but yeah,
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 I have a real buck 19, but not a 120 unfortunately. It's hard to find the 120. You got to get that online.
yeah. This was given to me for a show I did, so it was really nicely my name on there, and it's Screamathon 24, and the Screamathon was kind of a reunion. Lee Waddell, who played Ghostface, and me doubling Matthew Lillard, we met at the house that we actually shot it at in Santa Rosa, California.
Oh,
And so it was a private event, and in the house that we shot it in, I hadn't been back there since 1995 or whatever it was, four, and
yeah.
so that was a nice gift they gave me. And so I cherish it because it's buck 120.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one's cool though.
Oh yeah, it's really yeah. Amy just said what I'm thinking. It looks like a lightsaber, half a
Yeah, that's
lightsaber.
right. It does. I think it'd be cool if you could put some kind of light in it and make it actually illuminate even more.
Yeah, it's funny. They actually homage Star Wars and Scream 2 when they're at the party scene. Empire Strikes Back, better story, better thing. He's like, not a sequel, part of a trilogy completely. It was Jamie Kennedy and Timothy. How do you say his
Oliphant.
last name? Timothy
Oliphant.
Oliphant. Yeah,
Oliphant. Yeah,
yeah.
I
It was a
doubled.
funny.
I doubled him as well in Scream 2. The end theater scene. In the theater, he has a fight scene and he gets shot, and then he comes back to life. He rises up, comes back to life, and then he shoot him, and he goes flying back into these fake boulders backwards, and that was me.
That's really
So
great. You know what? Let's talk about one other thing about Scream 1 was that you doubled Matthew Lillard.
yeah,
And Matt
yeah,
and Matt and Matthew Lillard was just recently announced for Scream 7, a return to Scream 7. Have you gotten a phone call?
yeah, no, I inquired on that, and but first of all, they're done shooting, and maybe I shouldn't tell you that, but um, there was nothing for me to do on it. Leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think Scream Seven's gonna be outstanding. I mean, everybody wants to know. I mean, because I get the TV crashed over my head at the very end,
Yeah.
right? So I come out and tackle in the hallway, and I tackle Nev over the sofa, and then she crashes the TV over my head. And the director um, told me, he goes, the TV is going to crash over your head, and we're setting it up where the special effects TV is going to break, and there's going to be sparks coming out the backside of it, and he goes, I want you to get electrocuted, and that's what he told me. And so it crashes over my head. I jolt, and I shake like what I think electrocution is, and then I go limp. And we shot that, and what he did not say you're dying. He said you're being electrocuted. Now, does the term electrocution mean that you die? So I just have, I just know what the director told me, and you know, I'm just saying that you can leave it open whether he died with that TV crash over his head or it did not kill him. I don't know the answer. I know what the director told me. So little
Wow.
intel, little intel behind the movie.
Wow, man, I'll tell you, it's amazing. Every time I ask you a question, you somehow always answer the next two just within that just within the first question. Yeah, yeah, man. I'll tell you, that's what I was just about to ask you. I was going to ask you, what's your theory on Stu? Because they never actually officially announced is going to be a ghost or is he going to be alive?
Yeah, I think they're smart by keeping it a secret to make it build a suspense until the film is released.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. uh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's it.
Oh, well, I know that Kevin Williamson was interviewed a couple years ago, and they actually asked him the possibility of Stu coming back, and he's like, no, 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 Stu's dead. And but like I'm just like fans are fighting so hard to make it happen because like they love Matthew Lillard. Obviously, I love Matthew Lillard. He was such a very nice man when I first met him. Very nice guy.
He's
Couldn't be.
super cool, super cool.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, my first experience meeting him at a Monster Mania con in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I had bought two autographs from him. I got an 8x10 of him as Stu, obviously, and an 8x10 of him as Shaggy,
Uh,
and well, I brought my Ghostface masks for us to hold in the pictures, and when it was time to take a picture, he actually asked me, "Oh, did you want me to sign the mask too?" And I was honest with him. I was like, "Oh, it's okay. I only paid for two." But he picked up a Sharpie and he just signed them anyway. He's such a sweet, nice guy.
yeah,
Such a
yeah.
nice guy.
I
Yeah.
going to cons now, going out to these conventions and meeting people. It's a matter of time before I cross paths with him again. It's getting but I haven't seen him since then. But everybody I meet that have met him says the same kind words. I mean, outstandingly friendly and take your time and generous. Not like me. I'm
As
like,
you
come
are.
on,
Yeah, I was
hurry
just
up,
about to
hurry up.
say, as you are, Alan.
Hey,
My experience meeting you was just very memorable, very amazing. You couldn't have been more generous with your time. You never said like, okay, I got to get to my next group of fans. You let me get all my rambling out because when I first approached your table, I had only one intention of getting one 8x10 Ghostface photo signed, and then I see that you worked on Forrest Gump, Batman Forever. All these amazing films that I grew up loving, and I'm like, oh my god, I should have worked harder and got more money. Dang it! but next time, definitely. Next time you come around, I will definitely be buying some more autographs off you.
well, hey, I know North Carolina is not close to you, but in July I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this goes for you, Amy, too, because I mean, if you want to meet me, that's my next event. It's called GalaxyCon, and GalaxyCon is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
the stars. I know Roger Jackson's there. I think Skeet's there. They keep announcing more people every day, and I was just officially announced today, and I am super stoked. So you should go down the guest list, and if you see, you know, it might be worth your while. Just take a little road trip down to Raleigh. um, in July because I mean, if you're a Trekkie fan, William Shatner's there, and it's like lot of great people, and somehow they want me there. I don't know why, but
Because you're Ghostface.
okay, well, all right, well,
You're a horror icon, man.
yeah.
Isn't
So
it?
yeah, yeah. So Amy, come on down to Raleigh and to GalaxyCon. It's July 24th through 27th. You can check them out on Instagram or their website, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple
That
more
was a
people.
shame. That was a shameless self promotion there. Sorry.
No. I was saying we got a few more people on here, guys. Don't be shy. Go on, ask him a question. Ask Alan a question. He's here. He's an open book to everything. Go ahead, ask anything you
Come
want.
on, come on.
Yeah, let's see. Amy's talking up the chat box here a little bit. Let's
I
see. We
know
got Amy's the star of this show right here.
the
She
Amy
says
show.
she hopes that she gets to meet you someday.
Yep,
And,
yep.
and she said you're wonderful. Of course, they want you there. Yeah.
I know, but when I look at all these, major stars, it's like, yeah, I'm the guy behind the guy. You've seen me, but you didn't know it. That's kind of my moniker.
Yeah, but it was you that was doing the running, doing the falling, doing the getting kicked in the face, getting whacked with the phones.
I,
It was you,
I,
man. I mean,
I
you
know.
know,
Well,
Matt, yeah, Matt, Skeet, Timothy, they may have delivered the lines and have given a brilliant performance outside the costume, but man, it's just as important for in the costume because it's mostly Ghostface throughout the whole film, and you are the main Ghostface of Scream 2.
yeah, what we stunt guys like to say about the actors who we double, we like to call them our dialogue doubles.
Oh yeah.
There are dialogue doubles. So they're the guys that do the dialogue for us instead of
Hmm.
the other way around. But yeah, Scream 2, because you mentioned the other scenes, like in that sound stage in the studio when I'm chasing Courtney Cox and
Hmm.
it was so fun because it just built an intensity as she's trying to get away, I'm trying to get her, and go this way, go that way, and it was I was building up with frustration, and then David Arquette comes in, Dewey, and I end up stabbing him. But a quick little behind the scenes on that was so we're in an actual sound studio that has this unbreakable thick soundproof glass. And they told me it's also kind of, you can't break it either. So gave me free reign to kind of like hit it as hard as I wanted to. So
Oh,
I was going ad libbing. I was just trying to get to her on the other side. And I pick up this stool and I chuck it as hard as I can against that glass. It hits the glass and it bounces immediately back off and right into me. And it was like, cut, time out. I was like, okay, that hurt. Okay, we won't do that again. That didn't make the movie. I think I might have thrown the chair, but not as hard as I did that first time. But
that's one of my
uh,
favorite moments in the movie, actually, when you're throwing stuff out the window trying to get to her.
yeah, it built an intensity. I'm just desperate, and just and it was fun. I mean, it was that was fun. So, some other scenes in the movie in the sorority house. She goes back into the sorority house, and I'm in there, and then I see her. I end up stabbing the knife into the door, missing her, and then I chase her, and she goes one way, and I go around. I end up tripping over a sofa and falling on the ground, and she gets away. So that's me in there. What else? Yeah.
You killed
Well,
Dewey. You killed David.
well, I didn't kill him
Right.
because he didn't die, but I did stab him. And so that and he was super nice. All the cast was super nice to work with. Nev particularly when I was in devling Timothy Oliphant, the final scene, and I had to do a fight scene with her, and I was like, man, you're good, and she told me that she came from a dance background, and that's a good background for movement and spatial awareness when you're doing fight scenes. Because if you don't have that movement, I mean, it's awkward, or sometimes accidents happen. You accidentally get hit because they're not really spatial aware. But she was a gem. She was a gem to work with.
Oh yeah, Nev. Yeah, oh yeah, I met Nev numerous times. She's so sweet. But yeah, she just blows me away as an actress. Like just what she's willing to like get her head, her mindset, and like when she cries, for example. Like there was a moment. There was actually a behind the scenes footage of her talking to Wes. Wes was giving her direction, and she actually was all welled up with tears and talking to Wes in a crying type of way because she
Uh,
didn't want to lose that emotion state.
oh
And
wow.
I just think that she is just such an amazing actress, like up to the point where, like we don't even see actors like her anymore. I feel like it's really hard to find that these days. But I have such admiration for her. She was my first crush actually. So
Nice,
yeah, and meeting her in person, she lived up to all my expectations. She was just wonderful. And
nice, nice.
yeah, but yeah, back to the moment where you're throwing the when you're trying to get Courtney at the window. You're like the energy that you give off playing Ghostface. You show your aggression, and Kane Hodder's very popular as Jason because he all the energy that he put into his characterization.
Yeah,
And I think that you're actually on his level when it comes to Ghostface because you just, like even when you're throwing your knife, wiggling it through the door, it's not working.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
Courtney leans over the window, and then boom, you appear, and then you just run
yeah.
over. You grab hold of everything. It's like you show your aggression when you're grasping everything around you,
Oh
and then
yeah.
you throw the chair, and then you wave your arms like, "Damn it!" Like God damn it! Like because now you can't get to her.
I probably said that. I probably said that in the mask.
Yeah.
You know, because it's got to come from within to show that frustration. Can't just be going through the motions. Like I mentioned about stabbing Jada earlier. And there it was just true frustration, and then it was just like, come on, I'm gonna get you, and it just built, and it was pretty natural the way it built, and Wes let it go, and it was neat because Courtney would do this, and I was like, it was fun. It was challenging. It was a lot of energy. I remember being wiped out shooting that multiple times and different shots. I remember being wiped out. But it came out, I thought, really good as far as creating that tension and showing Ghostface is relentless, and I'm after you. So
Yeah, I'll tell you, Lee may have been the first to portray Ghostface, but I feel like when it comes to like all his like signature moves that you see fans try to recreate in fan films or whatever, like I know in my films, I take a lot of inspiration from what you did in Scream 2 to like show like how he falls to the ground after getting hit. Like, cause you really try to like work like the things that are hanging from your arms. I don't know if they actually
yeah,
have a
yeah,
name exactly, but like when you run after Nev, when you're by the door, you make sure to hold your arms out. Like,
absolutely. That's what
yeah,
makes that's what makes that robe. The arms by your side is weak. Out bigger is shows strength, and so there's not a lot of like just happenstance. I mean, you think about it, it's like, I'm gonna, like if I'm trying to be really quiet, like coming out of a theater bathroom, my arms are gonna be down, but my knife is right there. But but chasing somebody, I'm gonna be big, and we'll call them robe tassels, robe danglies. I don't know, whatever those
yeah,
yeah, there's probably a name for them, but
yeah. I don't
yeah,
know what the arm capes. We can say arm capes, whatever.
arm
Um,
kinks.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, no, I just really always admire. That's why I was so excited that you agreed to do this interview because it's really your performance as Ghostface that I really think created all the signature moves, and I think that you need to be commended for everything that you brought to the character because I can tell that you were actually performing a character. You weren't just a guy in a costume taking the hits, running after the actors. You actually gave us a real performance.
Well, Joe, I appreciate that. That means a lot that
Yeah.
you saw that and you appreciate that, and I appreciate you, you know, noticing that. So I'm glad glad it all worked out.
Yeah, man. If you actually, you know what, man, if you go on my YouTube channel, I actually, when they released the 25th anniversary costume, I actually reenacted your scene when you come out of the bathroom stall. When I'm using my basement door, and I have the knife up to here. I put the music that was in the scene in the background. But yeah, man, that just goes to show you that I filmed that probably like 2 years ago. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. Just had it like this, and I made sure to do the how you the way you move your head also, like you like really try to work your jaw, like Ghostface's jaw.
Well, my the one some of that was because I came out of the bathroom. I wanted to look to the left and then go to the right. So I kind of I came out because I ended up exiting to the right after I opened the door. But I come out and I look to the left and then I look to the right and then I go. So those still photos are some of my favorite shots right there, holding that knife there.
Oh yeah, man. That's the. I have my portfolios downstairs, but that's the picture that I had you sign for me. And like I said, it was killing me because I saw all the pictures of you as Ghostface, and you had so many classic shots in that movie. I love that picture where you're holding the knife like this.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it was just unavoidable.
Amy's got a nice comment there. Roger Jackson. So that was recently taken. It's Roger Jackson and myself.
Oh, what con was that?
That was not Spookala. It was oh my goodness. It'll say right there, Creepy Con. Creep IE. Creep IE is Inland Empire. That's Southern California.
Oh,
So I did photo ops with him, and then I just took one for myself with him, without the costume on. So it was neat because when Roger will be at GalaxyCon that I mentioned earlier, and when we do photo ops together, it's fun because he'll give voices to people. Like they come up to get a picture with Roger, and he'll do. Well, he does. What's your favorite scary movie, or
yeah.
oh,
He'll play
Sydney.
out the scene with you.
And I'm like, that's the voice. And of course, he'll throw in something from one of his animation films too, and it's some kind of character from something. But he's a legend. So it was really cool
Oh yeah.
earlier this year to get that photo with him, and I'll probably be doing photo ops with him again in July.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. I got very lucky when I met him in 2015 for the first time because he actually had that option on his price list on his table, a voice message. Like he'll record a voice message as Ghostface on your phone, and he did that
oh,
for me.
oh
And unfortunately, I don't think he does it anymore. Probably because of his new contract, probably with Paramount, maybe. But
yeah,
that's just a guess. I really don't know. But I know he's
yeah.
on Cameo. But
Um,
and what's great about Cameo is you could just buy Cameo and just like take the audio and just play with the audio. But I mean, like it's just like I felt so lucky when I got to hear him actually say my name in the Ghostface voice and threaten me. Like, oh God, my heart was just like I had a choice between either the voice message or the selfie. Of course, it was killing me. I couldn't get the selfie, but I had to get the voice message. It was just there was no comparison. It had to be the picture. I mean, it had to be the
yeah,
voice message.
yeah, that's a tough one. I did a movie and I worked with an actor, a voiceover actor named Alex Bornstein, and she plays the voice of Lois on The Family Guy. Hi, I'm Lois. And so I worked with her for a couple months, and then at the end, I knew her well enough. I go, "Would you leave my outgoing message on my voicemail?" And she'd be like, "Hi, this is Lois from The Family Guy, and you've reached out, and he's probably out trying to kill himself or something. Leave a message." I was like, I never asked actors for things like that, but because I worked with her for quite a while, we became friends. It was like that was cool. I gotta find
Yeah.
that. I gotta put that back on my voicemail.
Oh yeah. I mean, what are you gonna? I tried. That was the bummer about the voicemail that Roger Jackson left for me. He did it on the like the tape recording app. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it a voicemail because it didn't have that option.
Um,
But I
mm,
tried. I tried so many things. I like put my phone up to a speaker to try to re-record it when it was time to record the voicemail. It worked a little bit, but not completely. Like it fooled a couple of my relatives a little bit. They got a little bit nervous at times. But Roger's voice, like the way he performs the character, like he will let it go, and he's just amazing with what he does.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if he probably
I
like
think
get behind
I,
his.
I think Amy's the only one on here. I can't see anybody else, but guys sure appreciate Amy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Amy's the yeah. A lot of people are shy. Guys, I see we got like 5 people watching us live right now. If you guys have any questions for Alan, he was Ghostface in Scream 2. He was Jim Carrey's stuntman on Batman Forever, which I will get to at some point. And obviously, Tom Hanks is stuntman on a variety of films, including Forrest Gump. Uh, please feel free to ask Alan questions. I kind of wish that I had posted an hour ahead of this interview that we were getting ready to start, but it was in my story all day.
Yeah, yeah,
But a lot
yeah.
of people,
No, yeah, there's so many films I've been blessed to have worked on. I mean, over 160 films and TV shows over the 40 years in the business. 40 years. Wow. I started when I was 12. No,
whoa, really?
no, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh,
I got a late start. I was like 25. Um, but no, I've been blessed with a lot, and there's so many that I forget about until I have to look them up. Like today, I've reminded I did Sicario, Day of the Soldados, the second Sicario movie, and those people like action stuff are like, oh my gosh, you worked on that. And I go, yeah, I did this, this, and this, and it's like, if you're an action guy, that's great stuff. Or TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer back in the day, or Star Trek movie, Star Trek Nemesis. Apparently, it wasn't a big box office hit, but I played a Calorian. It was a creature, and had a bit of screen time as that creature in Star Trek, and I have to look at my. Um, but I mean, if you like TV shows like Outer Banks, I did 2 seasons of Outer Banks. That's a whole different genre, not
yeah.
horror. Comedy like Blades of Glory. I was a stunt coordinator with Will Ferrell and John Heater on Blades of Glory. That was hilarious. The film. Um, I don't know. I could go on,
Oh
but
yeah.
but but the Scream thing is it's cool. I can't wait till 7 comes out because Scream was originally designed as a trilogy, so it was only going to be 3 films. So that's the way it was originally wrote. So the fact that we're so many years later and we're on number 7 tells you they're doing something right. They're people like it. They're making money. People are going to see it, and I just think that's it just goes to the strength of that franchise. I mean, 7 of them. I know some of the other films, Friday the 13th and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of them have a long life, but when it was originally designed for 3, now they're on 7. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I know that when they did Scream 4, yeah, I think they were a little disappointed with the amount of money that it made because a lot of people at that point were just like, I'm gonna wait till it comes out on DVD or something at that point. A lot of people weren't really interested in going to the movies at that time, but then when they realized that actually hurts the movies when you do that because they need to make money in order to like get sequels made, that's when people were start rising, bring the franchise back, and then finally they did, and 5 and 6 were box office hits.
Mm,
And yeah, I think that's
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I know Scream 4 did well at the box office, but I think they were hoping it would do better than it did. But
Well, And there's no magic to that. I mean, because when you're like the story I told you about Forrest Gump, I mean, it did exceptionally well, but I didn't think it was going to do anything because so there's there's a lot involved to make a movie a hit. I've done movies that I thought, man, this is going to be great, and then it just bombed, and it could be for a lot of reasons. It could be even the timing of the way it came out, and the press didn't like it, and it could be um, poor reviews from people, or something just missed, or that opening weekend they were up against, Spider-Man or something that just dominated. Or
Yeah.
so there's a lot involved in Hollywood as far as a movie, making money because they all want to make money because that's what they're in business for.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I just worked on a TV show for Apple TV called Dope Thief,
oh yeah,
and yeah, I played a DEA agent. It was just extra work, but yeah, I think I have quite a bit of scenes in the finale, which is going to air tomorrow. I don't know if I was in a couple of scenes in the beginning of the show, but you can't really see me. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of those shots, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we might see me in the finale. I'm hoping, but
okay.
yeah, it was a really fun experience to get to shoot that, and like it looks like it's a fantastic show. I mean, it's a really good show, and it was really nice to have something like that in Philly because most of the time I feel like these films shoot in California or New York, and you know, a lot of actors don't understand really how like rare it is. And like sometimes they say they don't understand how much we like gush over them because they get to do this, but unfortunately, it seems like it's a pretty rare opportunity that a lot of people don't seem to get. Like,
Yeah.
like you getting to work on Batman Forever and blow up the Batcave. Like, I wanted to be on that Batcave set so bad as a kid. I just loved the designs of the Batcave. Like, I just got to ask, what was that setting like to be on?
Well, it was pretty awesome. Um, that set was built in Long Beach, California. It was known as the Spruce Goose Dome. So, a very rich aviator, Howard Hughes, built one of the largest aircraft out of wood
Hmm.
back in, I forgot when it was, 30s, 45, around the mid 40s. And, um, and flew it once and put it away. And then they built this big dome to house it in. And then they moved the aircraft out of there years ago, and then they had this vacant spot, and they started making movies in there because it was a very large sound stage, if you might say, and that's where they built the Bat Cave.
Oh,
And when it's lit and things are going on, and you got the Batmobile, you're walking around doing stuff. It's just like you're like, wow, this is the real deal, and it was an honor to be part of that. I did one of the things I did was some test rehearsals for Jim Carrey. Blowing up the Batcave, I have these little bombs in them. I'm skipping through. Well, it's Jim in the movie, but I did the test in rehearsals beforehand to make sure that these special effects fire bombs weren't going to be too big for him. If that makes sense. So I'm walking down the bridge, throwing it, and a few special effects guys are set up these bombs, these fireballs. I want to make sure we can get them close enough to Jim without burning him.
hmm.
Well, I'm in full costume, so I got the green one-piece unitard with these felt. Uh, they iron on like these felt question marks all over, this one-piece unitard. And a couple of them got kind of warm. They didn't burn me, but I thought, oh no, if one of them is way too big and I do get burned with costume on, I'm liable to have question mark scars all over my body. And how weird
Yeah.
would that be? It make a great story for the rest of my life, but I didn't want that. But nothing happened. But it did. It was, you know, it was interesting while we were shooting that. It was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. A lot of the stuff that Jim Carrey performs in the movies, it's kind of like he kind of makes it. It seems like he kind of purposely makes it so you have to use his shots every time.
Oh
He,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's very yeah. I've done three films, three shows, um, and a lot of actors like that who don't want there to be a stunt person. So we work it out so it's him doing it as a stunt person. Um, make it manageable so it's something they can do. And another cool set on Batman Forever was the Riddler's lair. Shot that
Hmm.
at Warner Brothers Studio, and that was amazing. It was so big and so grandiose, and had these tubes where Batman and Nicole Kidman were in them, and it was it was a big throne up at the top. I was up there for the explosion of the um, that
The
energy. Yeah, the
yeah,
energy, the green energy.
the manipulating brainwaves thing. That
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
I don't
Yeah,
think they gave it a name. The device.
yeah, but we know what it was because when it blew up, it came. All these sparks came down, and that was me sitting up there in the throne, um, as I got showered with sparks, and um,
Yeesh.
so that wasn't shot too close. So although I made a good double, um, but that was I don't know. It was just a fun experience. It was a fun experience working with Jim.
Absolutely, and they must have. We got somebody else here that's asking a question. Lucas I can't say that second word. I'm sorry. Vlogs. That's the man behind the Ghostface mask. Are you?
Hmm. Hmm. Matter of fact, I am.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. This is the guy that. Oh my God! Unfortunately, put Jada Pinkett Smith to her end in that very traumatizing opening scene. Like I actually feel like the opening scene of Scream 2 was more traumatizing than the first one. Yeah,
Well, it's interesting. They're different because the first one was the first of its kind, and that kind of like wow, we just lost. I mean, really. um, so it was surprising, but I think mine might have a little bit more drama to it, a little bit more shock, a little more shock to it.
yeah. Lucas, if
Yeah,
you have any questions for Alan, feel free to ask them, buddy.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, it was um Ghostface. It's interesting because when you're making a movie, you don't know that it's going to be a hit, and you're just doing the best job you can for the director, and you know you just want to you're just happy to be working, you know.
yeah.
Um, so when you just want to do a good job, and so many years later, and people go, I really enjoyed it. Going, wow, okay, it took a long time to get that pat on the back because when you're making a movie and you do a scene, nobody comes up to you and goes, hey, good job, Alan. It's like, okay, it's good. Moving on. We're doing the next shot next, and you're just moved on.
Yeah.
Compared to my start, you asked how I got started in stunts doing live shows. You get instant gratification. I'm doing a show in front of 5,000 people, playing Indiana Jones in a stunt show in Orlando, and people go crazy, and you're getting that instant feedback, like, yeah, okay, they're being entertained. That's cool. Movie business, none of that. It's just like, okay, we got that, we filmed it, we got it. Now we're moving on to the next shot. And when the movie comes out, that's the next wave where you can kind of go, okay, that was cool, or oh, I'm a little disappointed that half my stuff got edited out or whatever. And then now I think it's just so cool. This many years later, we're still talking about it, still doing it. But let's read Lucas's down here because Joe, I got to go in a little bit because we're
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
we're
Yeah,
going
we're
a
going
little
over
over
an
time
hour.
here. Did you get to meet the actress that played Sydney Prescott and the rest of the cast on the movie, or were you just there for the opening scene? That's a good question, Lucas. I can't answer that. Sorry, it's top secret. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's my terrible sense of humor. But yes, no. So Sydney was played by Nev Campbell, and I had many scenes with her. So I got to hang out with her. I'm trying to think of it in the order I work with her, but I know um, in the sorority house I work with her. The final scene when I was doubling Timothy Oliphant, the final scene in the theater. Um, I did a fight scene with her. I was in the uh, sorority house. It seemed like there was more, but yeah. And then I got to work with all the cast. So that's a good question because um, uh, the yeah, I'm not the I got to meet I think just about the entire cast over the time I was working on it. Some jobs, this wasn't one, but some jobs I'm only there for a short period of time to do my scene, and I don't get to meet the cast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is on some films, just the way filmmaking is. And but on this one, I was there so much that I got the pleasure of meeting just about everybody. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So yeah, not only opening scene, but this. I don't know if you heard earlier that. So I was also in the sound stage recording studio scene chasing Courtney Cox, and then I stabbed David Arquette, Dewey, sorority house. I'm chasing around Nev Campbell, Sydney, and fall over her sofa. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll tell you. Well, one thing that's we'll wrap this up pretty soon. I know you said you got to get going,
yes,
so we'll
yeah.
ask a couple speed round of questions here, but before I let you go, but it must be very complimentary to you the fact that they kept bringing you back to do all the. I think you're probably the only guy that's played Ghostface. I mean, Lee, of course, did. He killed Drew Barrymore. He chased Nev, and he also killed Henry Winkler. Um,
Yeah.
but I think those are the only three that he did. And you obviously you killed Jada, you killed Omar, you chased Nev, and you went after Courtney and David. So I think that you're probably holding the record right now for the most worked Ghostface actor.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Ghostface, a little behind the scenes on it. They never want one person throughout the movie to play Ghostface. They don't want it to only be one guy throughout the whole movie. And the reason being is because Ghostface is one of the characters in the movie, one of the characters. And if Ghostface always looked the same, he always looked like a 6'1", 180-pound guy. Then you kind of go, well, I think he's you know we can figure out who he is. So they made sure they had more than one Ghostface in all the Scream movies.
Y-
However, Scream 2, I got the most screen time. I got the most scenes. So I guess they like that because, um, because some guys were in there and they played Ghostface for one quick scene, and that's great. Um, I just got lucky. I got, they must have liked it because they
Uh-huh.
kept on bringing me back.
Yeah, just like Roger. He only was hired to portray the scenes with Drew Barrymore, but they really loved what he did, so they just kept him. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Lucas asks another question: how is it portraying Ghostface, such an iconic character, and putting on that mask?
Well, one thing is, and that's a good question too, Lucas, is uh, when we were shooting Scream 2, Scream 1 just came out, and a it was a hit, but it wasn't the blockbuster it is today. And it was only now we're just doing the second one. So when you're portraying it, you don't know that this is going to be successful. You don't know, it's not like, oh, this is the iconic mask. I think the guys that are doing it now, and they were doing Scream 5, 6, now 7, they're putting on the mask. They know the legacy.
Hmm.
In fact, I've talked to some guys who are like, "You're their terms, not mine. you're a legend because you were that Ghostface back then. Um, that there's because once it comes out, then it becomes a iconic figure, and it wasn't iconic. It wasn't an iconic mask for Scream 2 yet. I think they were just coming out. They were just coming out at the store, and everybody's buying for Halloween. It wasn't a big deal, but you know, so for me to put it on was just like, okay, I put on a lot of masks. I put on a lot of makeup and characters and stuff I've done over the years, and I don't think about. I just think about doing the best possible job with what I've been told to do, and so I can keep working and keep getting called to come back.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. You know, one of the most I know that this is obviously a really good story, but it's also was unfortunate for the movie. The script got leaked on the internet, and
Which one? Which
Scream
one?
Two, Scream Two, and they actually had to change the killers. And
Yeah.
do you remember
Yeah.
around the time that happened? Oh,
Uh, oh no, I don't have it. I got this as a crew gift. Who's filming it?
oh, that's
And
beautiful.
and is that backwards? It might be backwards.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah. Oh,
Killer
Killer
Stunts.
Stunts. Yeah, that's awesome.
But what do I have here? I have other stuff. But when we filmed Scream 2, originally it was called Scary Movie.
Hmm.
So the parody comedy Scary Movie. I mean, that wasn't even talked about at the time, but Scream 2 was actually called Scary Movie. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were going to call it Scary Movie and
That's
not
what the
go
first one was
Scream.
supposed to be called.
Oh, okay. But my call sheets, I've got other stuff that it was called Scary Movie. So I think about the time it came out of the theaters, it came out as Scream 2. But yeah, I just found that not too long ago in a box, and I was like, that's cool, the old school. You know,
Yeah.
I'm glad I've still got some memorabilia.
Oh yeah, I know. That's a beautiful hat right there, man. Do you still have any of the scripts or anything, or?
No, I didn't get the script on that one. I didn't get the script. A lot of movies I do, and no, nope. I'm lucky to have the original mask, and that means a lot to me. And
That's the most important thing. The mask. Yeah.
that
How about?
that in case you weren't on earlier, Lucas. I happen to keep the masks that I use for the opening scenes um, in the bathroom and in the theater. And it wasn't because I'm a collector or what, but it was just it was just a cool prop, and I threw it in my bag, took it home, and I don't remember any particular reason. I don't even remember doing it. I really don't remember doing it. I just knew that it ended up in a box with other just props and stuff, and like Halloween's afterwards were like, "Hey guys, I got this," and they're like, "Oh, you can buy that at the store," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I got this one free," and not knowing the importance of it. Then it was in a box in my attic for over 20 years, and because it was just a movie prop and it was not a big deal, and I didn't follow the franchise at the time, and just till a few years ago when somebody goes, we were talking, I said, I even have a mask from the movie, and they're like, you have a mask, Ghostface mask? Oh yeah, I am for the opening scenes. They're like, where's it at? I go to my attic in a box. They go, hang up the phone right now, go up in the attic and get that thing out. And he told me how important it was. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna go up there and the thing's gonna be all melted into a glob and it's gonna be deteriorating. I'm gonna be like, I ruined it.
Oh,
And I
thank
got
God
it. And it's great. You saw it in person.
Hmm.
Then I just said, hey, I need to take this out there and let people see it. It's not mine. It's the movies. So I made that acrylic box and some lights in it. I may be redoing it just to make it even look even cooler. But yeah, I like bringing it around so people can see the original mask, and then they can see these pictures at my table and go, see that? See here, me killing Jada? See that mask? Oh, that is that mask there, and people just freak out, and I'm like, happy to help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Lucas is asking if he could see the mask.
Yeah. No, not right now because I'd have to get it out. It's in a vault.
Ah, I got you. Yeah, I
Sorry,
got you.
Lucas. Sorry, Lucas.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right.
No.
Well, we'll go on two more questions, and then I'll let you go. How was it working with the only actress I didn't mention, Courtney Cox?
She was great, and I was always a fan of hers. I liked the Friends TV show, right? So
Hmm.
she did that, and I had a little crush on her. And so now we're doing the scene in the studio, and I we were setting up a shot where she's going to be right up against the glass. I'm going to be up against the glass, and then action. We do some stuff, but we're literally her face was this far away from me. There's
Hmm.
glass in between us. I'm in the mask, and I just remember, where else can I be that close to her? My face that close to Courtney Cox's face, because I had, huge crush on her when she was doing Friends. So I was like, um, that it just stuck in my head of like, it was one of those moments like, this is Courtney Cox. I mean, if this glass wasn't away and I didn't have this mask, I could, I could touch her, you know. So, but she was super cool to work with. She was easy to work with. Made that scene, she put so much into it. Like I said, I was worn out. I was worn out after that scene because I was running and I had to just build an intensity and just going after her and she was fantastic. She never like you know broke
Yeah.
down or anything.
Yeah, Lucas, I actually have a picture of Alan's mask from when I saw him in Chiller. I'll post that on my YouTube channel so you could see it. But it's amazing. He kept it in great shape. He must have kept it in a really nice box.
Well, apparently that material is okay, but I was kind of worried about the fabric that's attached to it, that breaking down.
It looked
Because
great.
like whatever the material, like a silicone, rubberized silicone, I think they were pretty durable. But I was worried about that fabric that's around there. But it was so cool because in the mask, when I pull it out of the attic, you could see with the around the eye where the eyes are. You could see where there was smudges of black from where they had blacked out my eyes where
Hmm.
I'd used it, and then in the chin to keep the form of the chin, the props people just took newspaper and crammed it in there to fill it out so it wouldn't collapse.
Hmm.
So I pulled my mask out and I carefully pulled that newspaper out of the chin, and there's 1995 or whatever it was on the newspaper, the original newspaper that was shoved in there. So, I put
Yeah,
it back carefully,
yeah,
and that was kind of special.
it looked really great when I saw it. Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing: when you're chasing Courtney, all throughout the auditorium, I will tell you when you that moment when you're actually trying to stab her and you actually land on top of the auditorium chairs. I was just like, "Ooh, that had to hurt" because of those armrests and everything. I just felt like that like had to hurt.
I hope
Uh,
so.
but yeah, and I also wanted to ask, when she actually hits you with the phone and she starts running, where did Ghostface go? What took you so long?
I don't remember.
Was he beating the crap out of Dewey or?
No, I stabbed him. That was interesting because I stabbed him, and he was to be injured worse than he ended up being. So I've got pictures of me of Dewey really bloody, but
Mm,
he um um. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Lucas. He's got
uh,
a
uh,
25th anniversary Ghostface robe
yeah,
and my own Fun World mask. That's awesome.
yes,
Those are special props right there. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I have those too. I actually wear it when I play Ghostface for Nancy Ann Ritter and Leonora
Oh
I
yeah.
Gelfo. Yeah,
Um,
but
so this I have a who made this robe for me?
yeah, that looks
It's
like the
a
real robe.
yeah. It's got the real fabric and weight, and that's a Gen 2 mask. It's not the original one seen on screen. I don't bring that one out, but um, anyway,
Oh, do you own that? Do you own the robe too?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Not the screen used one. No.
Oh, just one of the ones that was made by the costume designer.
No, this one's a guy in overseas somewhere. He is what's it called? Scream robes. They're very pricey, but it's the right material. It's got the right fleck. Everybody in the know knows it's close as the real thing. It's possible. So it
Right.
looks good. It flows well. I mean, it's got the right sparkle to it. They got a little bit of glitter to it. Got enough form in the hood, and it looks good for photo ops. And
Absolutely. All right.
and I like to bring my arms out so you can see my winglets. That's another term we could use for
Oh, yeah.
the fabric it hangs down. Winglets.
Yeah, the winglets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So after you saw the movie, do you have any idea of what killer you were portraying? Like, were you Mrs. Loomis? Were you Mickey? Have you ever thought about? Oh, great shot.
See the winglets. Winglets. There you go.
Yeah, it's what I'm talking about. Like when you're running after Sydney after she's on the phone.
Yeah, I stabbed the door. Um, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were talking about. Oh,
No, it's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, no, I was asking about um. Oh my god, now I lost myself.
Yeah.
It's no, it's okay. It'll come back to me. But
Well, Joe, we should do this again. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
it's a
Yeah.
good time. We can put we can get to more questions. We really appreciate the questions we did have.
Yeah, Amy and
And
Lucas. Yeah,
Amy and Lucas, you guys rock. I know there's other guys being shy, but if we do it again, we can um, get some advanced questions or something, or maybe we can even have, I don't know, can you put up screenshots, like over me, like the
oh
picture
yeah, yeah, yeah.
instead
I
of
can
me
take a
holding it up like a little Mickey Mouse. Hey, look at me.
yeah,
Um,
I can take a screenshot of you holding that picture. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how about Val Kilmer? We recently just lost him. How I actually have my photo with him right here. Actually, when I met him at Monster.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, wow! Look at that.
yeah. I
Oh,
was very lucky to meet him. Such a nice man. Unfortunately, he couldn't talk. But no, I was just very lucky to get to shake his hand and tell him that his performance as Batman meant a lot to me. I thought he seemed like a really nice guy.
well, I I didn't really meet him. I worked with him. I saw him. Um, everything I heard about him was nice. I mean, we saw him on set a couple times, but I didn't get introduced, and there was no need to. I didn't have any interaction with him. But yeah, that was sad. And you're so cool. You got a picture with him, even though you can't talk. But that's special. Take the picture. Take the memories. You know.
Yeah, same with my picture
Yeah.
with you. I cherish it, but I cherish it. I really do.
Ah.
The fact that you were Ghostface in Scream 2, the one that I idolized in my films and such, and the fact that you were Jim Carrey's double in Batman Forever, which is in my top 3 of my favorite Batman films. And like I said, that was the one that I always fantasized me being Batman in. Like that was where my fantasies lied.
Ah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
That you know we've got
Oh,
the Riddler and a nice little. You got the same thing or
oh, I got the
something?
new one
All right.
from McFarlane. Yeah, that's really cool. I have the Robin one actually. Hold on, I have Robin and I have Val Kilmer's right here. I have to be careful. Oh, yeah, this is the Robin one.
Oh, well, nice. Yeah, it might be the same because I'm looking at the base and it's a gray oval.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. This one
might be
actually
the
came.
same.
This one actually arrived to me damaged. I had to get it fixed. The legs broke off.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, yep, yep. It's heavy. It's the
Yeah,
same.
it might be. Might be. It looks like it might be the same. I can't see any markations on it.
Yeah, it's the same
Like,
type of. It's the same type of statue. Yeah, as that is just. It's just Robin. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I want that statue. I've been looking for it. That's very hard to find. It's a very popular statue.
I have no idea where I got that. It could have come from the movie. like gift at the end. Um, yeah, it could have been because I ended up doing a McDonald's commercial as
Hmm.
the Riddler because they were promoting it, and no, I don't have it in here, but I was promoting this glass mug that McDonald's was selling when the movie came out, and
Yeah,
so I did the commercial that was nationwide as the Riddler, um, promoting
that
this
was you
little
in the
mug.
commercial.
Yeah,
Oh my, I love that commercial, man. Oh my god. Oh god.
yeah.
Wow, man. Paths are crossing, man. Oh god, you were all over my childhood. Look at you, man.
Ah, yeah, McDonald's commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that the footage of the video game, like, you know, a lot of people are trying to get the Schumacher cut released. Have you seen the
Huh.
Schumacher cut of the film?
Uh,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of footage that was in the video game trailers and the McDonald's commercials, and we were wondering, like, is that all footage cut from the movie that they used for advertisements and such? Like, would you know the
hmm.
answer to that?
I don't. No, no. It's first I've heard of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's Val Kilmer's Batman right here on the. This isn't the same.
Ah,
Yeah, this isn't.
awesome.
Yeah, this isn't the same type of statue as the Robin or Riddler, but they
Yeah.
sold these in the toy stores, and I just think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cool action pose too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. I think this is probably when he throws it right above you.
Yeah, it goes and you just see that thing almost in slow motion, just going
Oh yeah, man.
bang. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
tell you,
Good
man.
times. Good times.
Yeah, well, you know what, Alan? Look, I don't want to. You, dude, you were very generous with your time. We've gone way over an hour, but man, I could talk to you forever, man. You have a Bible of stories, and I just loved being able to talk to you, and it really meant a lot to me that you made time for this, man.
Well, Joe, let's do it again. And all those that are listening, stay tuned to Joe's channel and show and all this stuff because we'll probably be doing this again. And I've seen you got some great other people that you interview and it's all I can say is time goes by so quick. I mean, you know, let's
Yeah,
yeah.
r- right now I'm trying to arrange an interview with Christopher Durand. As you all know, he's Michael
I know
Myers.
Chris. Yeah, Chris
Yeah,
Durant. Yeah,
he got to play Ghostface in Scream 2 as well. He killed Sarah Michelle Gellar,
yeah,
and he also was famously known for playing Michael Myers in Halloween H2O.
yeah. That's iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't have a date plan with him yet, but we're trying to see when he's available, and also have one with
Well,
Dick. What's that?
and Dick Warlock. Yeah, I mean, you could when you're trying to get him on the show, you can say I. You can tell him that you had me on the show. That'll either help you or it might hurt you. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
no, hey, you can say, hey, I recently had Alan Robinson. They're like, you know, Alan who? No, I'm just kidding. Um, but no, I hope you get Chris Duran and Dick Warlock. I mean, he's a legend, legend of
Uh,
legends. So I get him soon because a lot of us are getting older. I mean, I'm not that old, but compared
yeah.
to, but can't take anybody for granted.
Yeah, Dick. Luckily his wife has been very good at responding to my email. She's been wonderful, helping me be able to stay in contact to try to arrange some. But yeah, he responded to my email, and he does want to. He is willing. He said he'll do it. But right now they got a convention up, and he has to, like, obviously rest up for that. But that's obviously more important. But I really do look forward to talking to him eventually. Yeah.
Well, good luck with that. And Amy, what? Oh my God, what?
Oh, I think she was surprised to find out that I'm. She's a big Halloween fan. That I'm interviewing Chris and Dick. I don't know if I told her that.
Yeah, and I am in my 20s.
Yeah, man, you look great. You look fantastic.
I've been in the sun a lot, so I probably look a little older than my age. But uh, and I color this right here gray to kind of give me some more. What do they call to make me look distinguished or mature?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't mature. That doesn't comply to me.
No, it comes from within because I mean, in a month or so I'll be 66,
What?
and yeah, so
Wow, man, you look fantastic. You look younger than me. I'm 32.
well, all right, well,
Yeah, man, I was just I
uh,
I'm blown away by
I
it.
well, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. But yes, Amy, yeah. So right now I'm 65, but um, because I was a stuntman for 40 years.
Mm,
And I got started, in a late start. I was in my about 25, so there you have it.
yeah.
But it's genes. It's the right kind of living. Like I kind of retired and I moved to Texas, and now I have horses and a Humvee. That's my lifestyle.
That's nice, man. That's really great. Yeah. Lucas asked another question real quick. If you want to answer that real quick.
Another question for you. I don't know if you answered this, or I apologize if you did, but is the 25th anniversary Ghostface robes somewhat the same as the original screen use one, or they're different? I have, I apologize, but I don't know the answer to that. I don't know robe history. I don't know much about mask history, but I don't know how they. I don't know the 25th. I know the robe I got through my research was as close to the Scream 2 robe as anybody's ever seen. Um, so that's a good question. I don't know. There's people that are so picky about masks and robes and knives. Is that a buck 120? Is that a 119? I say if you whatever you got and you have fun with it, use it, play with it, own it. Um, everybody, I know people collect masks and they have lots of masks. Um,
Hmm.
um, Probably the same thing with robes. I don't know. It's a passion. So, um, ask others. Um,
Well, like
yeah.
I said, I actually did the review. I posted myself in the Ghostface costume, 25th anniversary costume, where I actually did your pose. And I'll send you
Ah,
the link. I'll send you the link to that video, and if you want, maybe you can comment on it, and you can just tell us if it looks pretty accurate.
okay. Do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Lucas, maybe you could just look for his response right there. But yeah, Alan, I'll let you go, buddy, because you've given me so much of your time, and I'm really grateful to you for doing this. And we will definitely plan a date down the road to do this again because I really love talking to you, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, you bet. And I think the company was called Scream Robes that made mine.
Oh, on Instagram, yeah, I know. I'm familiar with them. Scream
Yeah,
Robes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Scream. Yeah, they're accurate. Super great guy. They're overseas somewhere, like Yugoslavia or something. It's
I know
like
it's
crazy,
unbelievable.
crazy place, but they do it right. And if you really want something good for the Scream 2 row, but yeah. Let me get going, buddy,
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Oh, you muted a little bit. Uh, are you still there? You okay? Oh, Alan, did I lose you? Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, oh, there you are.
yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
My phone my phone rang in the background.
yeah.
But I do need to run. Um, and we'll do this again. And Joe, you're awesome. Keep up the good work. And
Thank
we
you.
got a lot more questions to answer. And
Oh, man,
and
I got a whole list. I got a whole list of questions I could ask you, but we'll probably be here for a couple of years, and I know you got a life to live, so we got to let you get
yeah.
back to that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Joe, and thank you everybody online.
All right. Well,
And I'll catch you guys later.
Alan, this has been awesome, man. And like I say, you made my dreams come true. Not only am I talking to Ghostface, but I'm talking to the Riddler. And you know what? I mean, the little kid in me is going crazy right now, and I can't thank you enough for making those dreams come true.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor. It's an honor. All
Yeah.
right, Joe.
All right, Alan.
Okay.
Have a good night, buddy.
Okay.
Take care. All right.
Thank you. All right.
Bye
See ya.
bye. See you later.